Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market opens up here in about 30 seconds, so I'm going to watch KPTI out of the opening gates. Let's see what happens. I have an order at 21.55 here on KPTI to try to buy this pullback. Question really becomes, can it get down through the round number of 22? So we'll see if it wants to break that or not. All right, I'm going to get short here at 297.25. I think this thing wants to now get down below the 297 mark. So got confirmation of that break right there. But now just seeing if it wants to show some more downwards pressure. The key break is definitely going to be 297.07-ish. So let's see if this thing wants to roll back over. It's trying. Next two key break going to be down here. There we go. Can it get down through 297 is the question. It's trying. And there is the break. So all out there for $500. And let's see. Was in the trade for, let's see, where's the timestamp? 9:50 to 9:51. So we'll just call it 2 minutes. So $500 in 2 minutes, I'll take it. Granted, I did mess up the trade in the sense of should still have 500 shares right now. What caught me off guard was I was not expecting this sort of move. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be here and then flush down that fast. So in the excitement in my mind as I saw it happen, I forgot to change this down to 1,000 shares, so that I would have had 500 shares left. So yeah, the excitement caught me off guard. I mean, I'm happy, but like I said, if I'm being honest, I didn't quite, because that's cool for me to say, hey, I made $500 in 2 minutes. But in all honesty, like I said, to keep it real, I did mess up that trade because I got in other words, my emotions caught up, right? I got emotional. I was surprised by just how fast that all of a sudden turned around. And in that surprise, I got excited about it. In other words, I got emotional about it. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. That turned around. Wow. Now it's down below 297. That's what I was looking for. And oh, wow. Then took myself out. And now you're seeing the results of emotions. So in a sick and twisted type of way, for an even better learning example, I hope this thing just rolls over even more so that you can see just how nasty emotion can be. But either way, disappointed with myself, but also I'm happy with the $500. But if anything, as traders, we always need to be self-aware. And just because you have a winning trade doesn't necessarily mean it was a winning trade produced with the best of habits. And I did not have the best of habits for this one, for the reasons explained. But all right, well, it is what it is, and $500 a day keeps the day job away is my kind of trading mantra, trading philosophy, whatever you want to call it. So I'm $500, like I said, in a couple minutes, but we'll see if this thing wants to. I'm still very intrigued by it. The next level that looks very, very interesting is down at 296. Clearly a long ways to go before that can occur. But yeah, let's see what else I can find. I have an entry point here at 296.35. 500 shares to get short. Pretty big bounce right now, but the bounce is currently going against the trend. So we'll see if it can get up there or not. Okay, I adjusted it up to 296.65. That was either a very silly move on my part, or it's going to prove to be a very wise move. And it was silly, because I would have had my quick scalp right there. but we'll see if it can still make its way up to 65. All right, I will pause. All right, change it up to 85. I'll just pause it again. So at this point, I'm just going to go up over 297. All right, 297.15. Now I'm definitely being more conservative with my entry points just because I'm green. So let's say that none of this works out and I don't get any fills. Who cares? I'm already up $500. But 297.15, we'll see if it can work its way up there. I have an order at 29.15. Nice. So I'm in there for opening 500 shares. I'm going to go to 29.45 for some more, if possible. But not possible. It decided to just give me the $50. But I will keep my order up there at 29.45 if it wants to make another movement back to that upside. So quick $50 scalp there. Okay, I have an order at 29.97 here. But with the way it just paused, now I'm going to go up to above 30. So 30.25, that was the movement I was looking for. Didn't quite get it. And it all goes back to the philosophy that I talked about. At this point, I'm up even more now, $550. So if I never get filled on these ones, who cares? I'm up $550. But it doesn't really matter anyways because you can see there, never got up to 29.97, which is where I was. Just got up as high as 29.91. So all right, well, we'll see if this thing wants to break over 30. Well, we're a little over an hour in the day, and I want to move on with my day, work on some other things, so I'm going to call it quick. But I want to do a lesson real quick and kind of knock out a couple birds with one stone. First off, kind of to answer the question I get quite a bit, Clay, hey, how does your private trading community work? I know you offer it, the Inner Circle it's called, and I know there's a live chat room, but how exactly does that work? We'll offer up some real life context here, and like I said, also turn this into a little learning lesson. Here is the alert that you saw me trade on SPY, that one where I made the $500. And the key dynamic here for the learning lesson is notice what time it was alerted, at 9:48 a.m. So I was talking about how there was some potential there for a nasty situation. So nasty situation, meaning I was thinking the price was going to go down, and that is why I shorted it. And if you're maybe brand new, shorting just means you're able to make money when values go down. So because of that, and the key lesson here becomes, and just for context's sake, right here at the candle was 9:48. So that's when I alerted it. But I did not get filled until 9:50 down here. So basically 2 minutes later. I waited for a little bit more confirmation, which put me in at 297.25, which is again what you see right there. But that's always the thing is, the more confirmation you wait for, the less and less preferable entry point you might get. Now you're going to get a higher probability entry point from the angle of, well, you have confirmation, but because I waited for some, I didn't quite get it. Whereas other members, had they decided to just get in, they could have gotten in in the high 297s, whereas I got in the low 297s. Members had the opportunity, depending on their strategy, depending on how they wanted to approach it. Do I want more confirmation, or am I willing to maybe not have as much confirmation as what somebody else is, but I'm going to get a little bit better entry point, and I can control my risk a little bit better from that point of view by getting in, for example, up in the high 297s, which again, after I made the alert, the price at one point actually went up over 298. But that's a little nitpicking right there. I'm not going to cherry pick the perfect spot and say some members could have gotten in over 298. Yeah, we'll just call it the high 297s because that's more preferable and that's more realistic because you can see these areas right there represent that location on the chart. So the point here being is, that was an example alert where myself and other members had plenty of opportunity to make money. In fact, members could have made even more money than I did because I didn't even really get that great of an entry point, since I approached it from a little bit different angle of wanting a tad bit more confirmation. But so it was alerted well before the move occurred, which you saw. And it was just a matter of, how good of a move? Well, that's where the learning lesson comes into play. It's just dependent on what do you prefer for your entry points. Do you need a little bit more confirmation, or are you willing to take less confirmation? But that gives you a little bit better entry point so you can control risk, like I said, from that angle. Now, if you are interested in joining the community, then all you have to do is go to claytrader.com/team. And the way to approach that, looking at this pricing structure, $99 for 3 months, is do I believe the service can offer me more than $8.25, not per day, but per week of value? If you think the service will give you more than $8.25 per week of value, then you will get a great return on your investment. And like I said, I'm pretty confident, I'm very confident actually, that you'll get at least $8.25 per week of value. So that's how you need to approach that. Because, don't look at it as a cost, look at it as an investment. If I invest $99, what sort of return do I need? Well, you need a return of at least $8.25 of value. Like I said, I'm very confident you'll get that. There is a mobile app too, so it's not like you have to stay chained to your computer or anything like that. You can stay in touch with what's going on all over the place. I showed an example from the live chat room, but I also send out a weekly newsletter for my personal scans to help you build your watch list and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And then also, if you just enjoyed this video and would like for me to keep on making these live trade videos, easiest way to communicate that to me is just to hit that like button. Leave a comment down below also. That always goes a long way, and just letting me know that you're finding these videos worthwhile and would like for me to keep making them. And then also check out the rest of the channel. Lots of other live trade videos, lots of educational videos, and hopefully you decide to ultimately hit that subscribe button. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you back for the next video. And better yet, why don't you go get signed up for the community? Because like I said, I'm very confident you'll get at least $8.25 per week of value. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.